the Utah Mammoth. A team that we thought was going to be battling Minnesota and St. Louis for those last couple of playoff spots, either in the wild card or in the Central Division, maybe. And it's amazing what happens when you have ownership that invests in the team. Starting to see they have an identity now. They're not the Utah Hockey Club; they're the Mammoth. Tusky, the mascot, which I like. I know it's probably a little obvious, but nonetheless, I like the name. There's a lot of Utah's got a strong blue line. The top lines are producing. Logan Cooley gets his extension, well deserved. If Vejmelka holds up, and they seem to have a lot of confidence in Vejmelka because they went out and got Vanacek as the backup, and that's fine. But that to me tells me you're playing Vejmelka 2 out of every 3 at a minimum. So it's a tough division, but with the way St. Louis is playing, with the way Minnesota is playing, maybe this is the 4th best team in the division.
Yeah.
Vejmelka is still giving up a lot of goals. He's got .891 save percentage right now to start the season. He's gotten most of the starts. Vanacek's been a little bit better than he has. But, I mean, I feel like everyone has bought into Utah. The ownership, front office, the fan base, the players, everyone has bought into the Utah Mammoth. I know it's a good start so far, but you got players here. You mentioned them, Adam, all the players. And how about Nick Schmaltz? And already 17 points he's had. I know he goes on his hot streaks, but we're talking about a guy on a contract year. This could be a big year for Nick Schmaltz. So they're looking good. They're my West Coast team, so I'm happy to see them play well. Sergachev has had a good season to start. I mean, this is a team that could make some noise in what I always find as the toughest division, with the Avalanche, the Jets, the Stars. Look at the Blackhawks off to the start that they've gotten on. The Wild are going to have to make up a lot of ground if they're going to be players in this, because this is going to be a tough division with all those teams, including the Mammoth.
Yeah. You mentioned Nick Schmaltz. I don't think he keeps that production up, but the fact that you've got about 9 guys that are producing 4 or 5 points or better, it's a balanced scoring attack, which is nice.
And that's exactly it. Like the first part is ownership. Now you have an owner who says, "Hey, man, if you need a check, I'll cut it." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you sleep better at night. You know where you're playing. You don't have to worry about in 3 years, will we be playing in a college rink? Will we have a home? It takes all that off. And yes, the fans get to buy into it, but also, like, listen, I'll pour one out here for Arizona Coyote fans. They had to crawl and go through all this so the Mammoth could run, because this team was young. We knew that. And all that young talent is starting to hit at the same time. All of it is starting to get there. Like Gunther's starting to figure out, yes, Schmaltz did a contract year, but, I mean, players perform in contracts years. This isn't new to us. They go out, they get Peterka. He's fit in absolutely nicely as well. This whole roster is starting to get deep. And when you have deep rosters, it makes it a challenge for opposing teams, because you got to watch somebody. And if you let the big boys run, they will terrorize you, right? And it speaks of the fact that they're 8-3, despite Vejmelka not being where he needs to be just yet. So if he can figure it out, that blue line is okay. They're probably going to need to go out and get a piece or two at the deadline, but at least you're in a position to say, hey, we can do this. Now we can spend money. We have an owner who is willing to go closer to the ceiling. We're not going out and getting those LTIRs. We're no longer facilitating trades. We want to be in that mix. So I want to see them go a little bit, because, again, they do play in the toughest division in sports. So as this goes on, those games in March are going to be a lot tougher than they are today. And playing teams over and over again, even though the Wild are bad, but, Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, having to play those guys is something.
I feel bad for the Arizona fans, but let's be honest, they are not playing this way if they're still in Arizona, in a college hockey rink with the least amount of amenities possible for the players. They are not as fun as they are right now in Utah. So it's kind of like how the end of what happened in Quebec when they go to Colorado, and then Colorado goes off to become a Stanley Cup. I'm not saying that this is going to happen in Utah so quickly, but at a certain point, you leave an area that's just not to taking care of their players, and the ownership's not doing what it needs to do to make this a winning team, to now a place where everyone has bought in on what Utah is doing, whether it's the record or not. The fan base has bought in on this team, and the players are showing them what needs to be done.
Oh, it's not even apples to oranges. It's like apples to hot dogs in terms of like how this would be going if they were still in Arizona. They would not have acquired Sergachev. They would not have acquired Peterka. Maybe Cooley or Keller or somebody gets dealt. So yeah, it never would have gone this way in Arizona.